Called a game of runs for a reason, basketball season can be a real roller coaster.
One with high highs.
We played really well. Probably the best game we played, in a long time.
We were going to take it across the finish line.
I know we can win on the road. Tough teams win on the road.
But also low.
I'll do a better job next time.
When we took Hunter out, we didn't really have any offense.
They say it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Either way, these Wildcats and Jayhawks appear to be running to March.
Trying to make those momentum swinging plays.
We took advantage of, our game plan.
We had a lot of players play really well in the second half, in particular in the fourth quarter.
We're going to fight. We're going to grind it out. We're never going to lay over, regardless of the score.
K-Nation, sponsored by 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Tonight on K-Nation, get to know K-State's new offensive coordinator. You might already know him, though. It's Connor Riley. He joins K-Nation one-on-one to talk about his new role, running the offense for the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and more.
And from the Ain't No Seats podcast, we did save Braden Turner a seat here in the studio to talk Jayhawk hoops, but also the future of Kansas football and a whole lot more.
Speaking of that future, some rumors on social media might have freaked some fans out, but coaches are confirming they're staying right here. And of course, that is where we're going to start tonight. Welcome to K-Nation. I'm Lainey Gerber.
I'm Glenn Kinley. 3 top 10 basketball teams, or wins this week, I should say. But we're going to start with a little bit of relief. Nick Saban's retirement created a Big Ten job opening. And then both coaches down the road from us on I-70 confirm they're going to stay here in Kansas.
Yes, they are. Chris Kleiman and Lance Leipold joyfully and triumphantly shut down rumors of them taking that coaching gig at Washington. Thank you, Lord. After the Huskies finished national runner-up, Kalen DeBoer was hired to coach the Crimson Tide after that job opened up, and then the job opened up at Washington. So you may have been freaking out this morning, but Lance Leipold shared this post on Twitter saying, "Can't wait to get back to work," affirming his throne in Lawrence. And no tweeting from Chris Kleiman, but Mike McFeely, a journalist who spent time with Kleiman in North Dakota, is reporting that Kleiman is choosing to stay in Manhattan. Washington is expected to hire Arizona head coach Jed Fish. You can have anyone you want, just not our guy.
Keep him right here. Other football info for you. The Jayhawks Wildcats both ranked in the final AP poll of the college football season. K-State checks in at number 18, Kansas at 23. It's the first time finishing the year ranked for KU since 2007. Good news all over from a roster perspective for Kansas. Devin Neal confirms what we previously reported to you, which is he will be back next year for a senior campaign. Jared Casey also announced he's coming back. I'm sure you're thrilled about that. And the Hawks land a pair of portal commitments. That's defensive end Javier Darrett from North Dakota State and the top D2 center in America from last season, Shane Baumgartner, transfers from Tiffin University.
Now we can talk basketball.
Let's do it.
The worst thing possible happened for Oklahoma this week. KU lost on the road against unranked UCF, and the Sooners had to play an angry Bill Self team in their own house. That is never fun.
No, it doesn't. It rarely works out well. The Jayhawks' 4th top 10 matchup this year. Number 3 Kansas hosting number 9 Oklahoma. Little lineup change. Johnny Furphy gets into the starting lineup in this one in place of Elmarco Jackson. Bill Self said afterwards he was pretty happy with the energy the true freshman provided, and he would have played even more had he not gotten in foul trouble. Got to be careful with the fouls there, Furphy. Oklahoma, though, hung around in the first half. Just a 1-point game at the break, but then the Hawks really turn it on, and that Allen Fieldhouse crowd, even despite the cold, comes to life. The key in this one, taking care of the basketball. Check this out. 18 turnovers in the loss in Orlando, just 2 against the Sooners yesterday.
We knew we dropped one. We knew that, this game was going to be big, not only because, we just lost, but we're playing, a top 10 team in the country, a really well-coached team. And so for us, we just wanted to come out there with a lot of energy. And we knew if we played Kansas basketball, there's no team in the country that can beat us, and I think we did that today.
Our transition defense hasn't been near as bad as it's looked, in large part because teams are scoring off of turnovers and they're getting credit for transition. It's imperative that you get a shot every possession.
2 road tests on the way now for Kansas, at Oklahoma State on Tuesday, then at West Virginia on Saturday. The Hawks' record now sits at 14-2.
And those 2 turnovers yesterday, record for the program's fewest turnovers.
Wow.
Not bad. K-State had 2 road games this week at West Virginia and at Texas Tech, and they do split that road trip, get a nice 81-67 win in Morgantown, but had a little more of a challenge in Lubbock. After getting into a 9-point hole early on, they go on a 12-0 run to retake the lead and lead by 11 at the half. The Red Raiders chipped away at that lead in the second. And this game comes down to fouling guys and free throws. Ultimately, Tech got that last shot. K-State had 30 seconds to try to win the game, but couldn't sink a shot, and Tech wins it by 1, 60-59.
Get PP going downhill. You know, it was a 1-point game. I figured we'd have a chance of him make the shot. He's made big shots all year long through his whole career, or get fouled and get to the free throw line. That probably wasn't smart on my part, seeing we only shot, 7 free throws for the whole game. So I'll do a better job next time.
You know how the game goes. Sometimes you get hot, you go on runs, and so we just happen to cool off. But give a lot of credit to them. They played a very good defensive game.
Will McNair did have 5 blocks in that Tech game. Cats get 2 home games this week to make up for that road trip, starting with Baylor on Tuesday and Oklahoma State on Saturday.
All right, we get to see Scott Drew and Jerome Tang coach against each other again.
It's
Tang
so
was
cute.
2-0 against him last year. We'll see if he can continue that.
Ooh.
Hey, don't go anywhere. We're just getting started here on K-Nation. Coming up, my exclusive interview with K-State's new offensive coordinator, Connor Riley. How he plans to handle being the offensive coordinator while still coaching the offensive line. We'll talk about that and more.
But first, we have some program record holders to talk to. What Holly Kerskeeter and Ayoka Lee have to say about making team history. That's after the break.
Jungle House has moved, and we would love to show you around our new digs. Bring a new friend to school with you that will add life to your dorm room or apartment. We have plans for all. Find us at our new location, 6 East 7th Street, Lawrence, Kansas.
Every time I wake up and I look out, I'm in awe. I love it.
It's kind of our staycation. We were extremely pleased with the whole process, from the bid through the completion of the project. It's just exceptional quality.
It is. It's beautiful.
You could just tell that they were true professional craftsmen.
Let us help make your dream project become a reality. Call today or visit our website. We are your home remodeling specialist.
Meaningful relationships built upon trust is a founding principle of the Trust Company. We help individuals and businesses create tailored financial plans and diversified investment strategies that adapt over time to your unique needs. Because we are independent, we can offer flexibility and creativity that many advisors and trust departments can't. If you aren't sure where to start or you're looking to make a fresh start, contact us today for a free consultation.
At Vanderbilt's, we are celebrating the new year with incredible savings store-wide. Soft or safety toe, get our best-selling Keen Wedge sole boots for $159.99. Men's and ladies' burn insulated coats and bibs 20% off. Great buy on men's 5-pocket blue jeans starting at $11.99. Carhartt's mid-weight logo hoodie now 25% off.
Your work boots center, Vanderbilt.
Every morning, everything you're talking about starts on Today. This week, Jodie Foster and Mariska Hargitay are here. And Tuesday, Jamie Lee Curtis joins us live in studio.
Jamie Lee Curtis, one of the Hall of Fame guests.
Tuesday, only on Today.
If K-State women's basketball is not ranked in the top 10 tomorrow, Lainey and I might file we're not going to file a lawsuit, but but somebody
should. A formal
should.
complaint.
Yeah, we're not telling you to file a lawsuit, but we're not telling you not to.
Yeah, exactly. They just keep making them under dogs, under cats, under goats. Doesn't matter. K-State just keeps on winning anyway. Yesterday they get a big one, proving it's worth it at home against number 10 Texas. And it was a fun game to watch too. 12 lead changes, 11 ties. Neither team led by more than 6 points. End of the third quarter, Serena Sundell gets a huge block and gets this pass to Ziona Walker. Wow. Hits the buzzer beater. Huge momentum swing. Cats win by 3. The win streak moves to 11, and they are still undefeated in conference play.
We were just locked in the last quarter. Like, I know in my mind, I was like, we're not losing this. Yeah. And like every decision I made was like, we're not losing this.
Not ever giving the lead back in the fourth was critical. You know, we took it and we kept them at least away from us and them playing a little bit of catch up.
Shout out to the Gap GOAT, also the GOAT. Aoka Lee recorded her 2,000th career point. She becomes just the 4th player in program history to do that. On top of that, she broke the school record for career blocks now, 284 block shots.
Yeah, exciting. I think it's an honor. Yeah, exciting.
A woman of many words. She cares more about the win than the accolades.
I don't think she loves to talk about herself and hype herself up, but we'll hype her up.
Yeah. You notice how she'll talk about her teammates a lot, but never herself. Well, the KU men beat number 9 Oklahoma, the K-State women beat number 10 Texas, and the KU women knock off previously undefeated number 4 Baylor.
Yeah, we tried telling you not to worry about too much about that record. It felt like the Jayhawks needed this win, though. Maybe a little bit of a rocky start, but they are certainly battle-tested and enough to go 2-0 at home this week with that upset win, and then also a comeback win against Oklahoma State last night. Former Jayhawk Chandler Prater was there, not playing though. Former Wildcat Emily Ebert was playing. Also a big 4th quarter from the Jayhawks sealed the deal. But now we're really getting to see the team that we kind of thought we'd see at the beginning of the year. Samaya Nichols, Tiana Jackson talking to us post-game after Wednesday's top 5 win.
Very proud. We were in the locker room screaming. And I mean, I know we had a rough start. And even with those losses, we are still proud with the Jayhawk across our chest.
It feels good knowing that we can compete with the best of the best, Final Four-like teams, and just knowing what we can do as a team.
Didn't take them long to figure it all out. Brutal stretch of games is coming up at Texas, at K-State, and hosting Iowa State. If you remember last week, KU senior Holly Kurskier did set the school record for threes. Here's what she thinks about that honor.
It got a little more attention than I thought it would. But it was a lot of fun. Something I'll, have forever. Well, maybe not forever. Someone will break it one day, but something, part of my KU journey.
Maybe you'll be the one to break that record, Lainey.
Absolutely. I do still have all of my college basketball eligibility remaining. Coach Schneider, hit me up.
It's possible. Stick around after the break. The first of our 2 guests tonight, Connor Riley, tells us how leading the Wildcats offense and why it's a dream come true.
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you build a foundation for your college career, like transferable credits offered in your high school, earning your high school diploma through GED completion on our campus. Breakthrough to a new career. Manhattan Tech, providing higher education.
Hi, Clay Sherwood, Swims and Sweeps. I'm here with Frank and Dean, the CEOs of Cute. We have Hearthstone wood-burning stoves and fireplaces. We have electric fireplaces. So let Swims and Sweeps keep you warm this winter.
It's winter clearance at Lebeda Mattress Factory. Save now on luxury mattress sets, adjustable beds, latex and memory foam mattresses. Save on everything. Get a 2-sided flippable pillow plush queen set for only $6.99 with free delivery and a free bed frame. Adjustable beds with power bases start at just $9.99. Experience ultimate luxury with Lebeda's Quanta Pillow Plush, a true hybrid featuring naturally contouring Talalay latex. Plus, take up to 4 years to pay with no interest. Great mattresses, great savings at Lebeda.
Your independence is important to you, and it's important to our team. You've been training for this moment all year. It's time to get off the bench.
Come join the McCrite team, for it's your time to shine.
I've been lying right here for months. There must be people enjoying live symphonic music somewhere. Thrilling concerts beyond my front door. I'm getting off this couch right now.
No, you won't.
Who's there?
Down here. I'm your real friend, the couch. You can't leave me. You'll never escape.
Avoid the dreaded fear of missing out with the Topeka Symphony. Don't miss Rivers, January 20th at White Concert Hall.
No more FOMO!
Manhattan Area Technical College will help you break through to a high-paying career by empowering you in high-demand fields. Let Manhattan Tech help you break through to a new career. Manhattan Area Technical College, providing higher education.
Well, K-State football said goodbye to offensive coordinator Colin Klein. He left for Texas A&M, but after the Pop-Tarts Bowl win, the Wildcats promoted offensive line coach Connor Riley to that full-time OC gig.
I thought Strawberry the Pop-Tart might be the new OC. They go with Riley, though. I think it's a good
Controversial
hire.
call.
He tells me he will call games from up in the box. It takes a little bit of the emotion out of it that he has on the sideline. We talked about a whole lot more than just that in an exclusive K-Nation interview. Connor Riley here, the new offensive coordinator at Kansas State. Let's just start there. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, talking about the moment that Chris Kleiman told you that he wanted you to take over that role full-time after a win in the bowl game.
Yeah, thank you very much. Obviously very excited about it. Chris and I had conversations leading up to that bowl game, and obviously my desire to take over this position and fill the shoes of Colin and those who've come before me, and something that I've been wanting to do my entire life. There, shortly after the bowl game, Coach Kleiman and I got together and told me that the job was going to be mine. So obviously extremely thrilled, very humbled, and excited about this new challenge moving forward.
I know you love your O-lineman, right? A lot of people think you're just going to get it behind Hadley Panzer and say, hey, move him out, which would be a pretty good strategy, by the way.
With some of the guys we've had up front, it's been pretty good.
What does your style look like as an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it was interesting. I know there's a lot of people who thought that we were going to come out in that bowl game and run the triple option, and obviously we did not. Our philosophy, obviously, in order to be successful, we need to have the ability to throw the football. The complement of our run game, it creates a lot of one-on-one matchups. You know, it's a simple game of addition and subtraction sometimes. When you look at our philosophy, it's got to be complementary football. Do we have to run the ball in order to be successful? Absolutely. Do we want to be very efficient in the pass game and also, along with that, very explosive in the pass game? There's no question about it. So I'm looking to continue to grow that. The offense that you have seen the last 5 years has been a continual evolution of all those guys involved. And I'm certainly excited to continue that evolution.
You're going to work with Matt Wells, an experienced college football coach who has developed at least one really good quarterback, more than that, I'm sure. How excited are you about that opportunity to kind of learn from him and he learn from you, and just the collaboration that you guys are going to have?
When Coach told me about the opportunity of working with Matt Wells, I was elated. You know, from the amount of respect that I had for him, or have from him, back when he was a head coach at Texas Tech. Obviously, you look at his body of work while at Utah State with a quarterback who's pretty dang productive in the NFL right now, and his offense is over there. I'm just really excited to work with and see the additions that he can bring to this offense. He and I are going to get some windshield time next week, so we're going to continue those conversations, but it has been just a seamless relationship thus far.
I think they would take my journalism badge away if I didn't ask about the group of seniors that you just had. A really special group. I want to ask you specifically, I think a lot of those guys maybe would have played in that bowl game anyway, but they told me after the game, part of the reason they played is because they knew that this was kind of an audition for you for that job. What does that mean to you?
Humbling and appreciative. The relationships that I've built with those guys over the course of the past 5 years, and we've talked about, are relationships that are going to last much beyond this game. And for them to, in one case, make a sacrifice. You know, Hayden Gillum had to come home and have surgery on a thumb after that game. And when I told him there shortly how sorry I was, yet how appreciative I was, he told me he'd do it again. And those are true relationships. That's the real reason I love this profession, is those relationships. And what those guys did for this program, what they verbalized that they did for me, is something that will never be forgotten. And I'm forever grateful and ultimately extremely humble. After one of our practices down in Florida, there was a young freshman who looked noticeably emotional. And, you know, he's down on the scout team. And I thought, okay, one of the guys was getting after him, kind of picking on him. You know, that's sometimes how it goes. And I went up and visited with him. He was noticeably emotional because he recognized that that was going to be his last practice with those guys, and the impact that they have had, not only from his football side of things, but from his growth and maturity, has been significant, and how grateful he was for them. So one of the things that we discussed leading into that bowl game was not only putting a stamp on the story of the 2023 Wildcats, but the impact that this game could potentially have for the legacy that has been built going into next year and then beyond.
Well, we're excited to see what you do with the offense, Coach.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. And as you take over as an offensive coordinator, you're probably not complaining about having Avery Johnson as your quarterback.
I wouldn't. All right. Well, up next on K-Nation, good luck finding a seat for this one. Braden Turner from the Ain't No Seats podcast is in studio. We're talking Jayhawk football, basketball, and what team alumni think in just a couple of minutes.
Car wrecks don't just happen from 9 to 5. If you're in a wreck, we're available 24/7.
Don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need now. In a wreck, need a check?
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
Our local businesses are filled with hard-working, dedicated entrepreneurs who are Kansas proud. Consider shopping these Kansas proud businesses. Businesses like New Sound Hearing and Tinnitus Center, Doughboys Pizzeria, and Shorey Automotive.
Congratulations, Michelle Gilbert, this month's Everything Woman honoree, for sharing details about her cancer journey and for coaching and inspiring childcare teachers across the local area.
Everything Woman, sponsored by Sharp Honda, Topeka ER and Hospital, and Washburn University.
I was not a cancer mom until I was a cancer mom. You don't know until it's you. It can happen to anybody at any point.
We believe in the mission at St. Jude. We've experienced it. There's so many things that St. Jude does outside of treat cancer.
The research is shared. What they're doing matters to so many people. This entire facility is making changes for children. I may not have a son if it weren't for St. Jude, and we would have a totally different life right now. We need St. Jude. We all need St. Jude.
Big truck accidents have resulted in big money for our clients.
In a wreck, need a check? Call us today.
Patterson Legal is the way to go. Call 431-0000.
Welcome back to K-Nation. We've got a lot of Jayhawk news to talk about, so Glenn and I brought in our good friend Braden Turner from the Ain't No Seats pod to help us kind of digest everything that's been going on in the KU world.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. We obviously did this before, and I had a lot of fun. So I really am happy to be back on with you guys.
And it's a little bit warmer in here than it was at Arrowhead for you last night. We're glad that you warmed up. Also, thanks for making the trip over in the cold. Let's start with this, man. Was it a stressful morning for you? There was lots of rumors flying around about Lance Leipold. He sends out a tweet himself. He's like, rock chalk, I'm not going anywhere, more or less. How fired up were you about that?
Yeah, it's super relieving. I know he's been mentioned in so many jobs, any job that opens up around the country. And it speaks to how good of a coach he really is. So super relieving to know that he'll be here hopefully for a while, and that tweet kind of took a lot of stress off myself and a lot of KU fans around the country. So it's amazing to see.
It feels like a crazy world we're living in. 3 or 4 years ago, if I would have told you that the team that was just the national runner-up wanted the coach from KU, right? Yeah. That would have been crazy to talk about, but that's how far this program's come.
Yeah, it's wild, and the strides they've made in the last few years are crazy. They obviously had a winning season this year, been to back-to-back bowls. That's the second time they've done that in program history. So it's wild how quickly he's changed it, and the fact that he wants to stay around in Lawrence shows how much he loves the community, and it's just awesome to see how loyal of a guy he really is.
Loyalty, that's the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing KU has Bill Self on a lifetime contract because he would be in all of those coaching conversations as well. KU gets a bounce-back win yesterday. Johnny Furphy gets to start. What did you see from him that you liked?
Yeah, and the staff loves him. They hyped him up in the off-season. He plays really hard. Doesn't really play like a freshman. A lot of freshmen come into KU, and it kind of takes them a little bit to adjust. But guy comes in, plays hard, gets shots up. Bill was fired up at just a couple hustle plays from Furphy. So it's amazing seeing that because they got a lot of consistent starters, but they've kind of been looking for kind of a fifth guy that can score and play with energy. And he was awesome against Oklahoma, top 10 wins. So that was huge for KU to bounce back after the UCF game.
Yeah, talk to us about, they lose to UCF, you mentioned it. And then there's like a tendency to hit this panic button. They've got 4 really good players. They're kind of waiting for that fifth guy to step up. Maybe it's Furphy. you've been keeping up with the Hawks a lot longer than us. Does this happen every year? It's
Yeah.
like they're really good. They have a good record. They lose to a team that's not very good, and people say.
And suddenly there's no March.
And then and then by March they're number 1 seed.
Yeah, and that's how good Bill Self is. He's never been worse than a 4 seed. But we went live on our podcast after they lost to UCF, and there's people in the comments saying we're not going to make the tournament, stuff like that. And they've beaten a lot of good teams this year. So yeah, it's every year where KU fans panic, call them soft, say this team's not as good as previous years, and just spoiled. They've been that good, and that shows you how good Bill Self has been.
Yeah, and you guys at the Ain't No Seats pod keep up with a lot of alumni. What do they think about this year's team and their expectations for it?
Yeah, I think they know the depth isn't really there, but they know they have really good players too. They got 2 All-American type players. I was talking to Tyshawn about it, Tyshawn Taylor, and it was him and T-Rob in 2012 where they made the national championship, and that team had 2 All-American type players, and they weren't very deep either. So as long as Bill is under helm, they all feel fine. We did that episode the other night, and Sharon was in there commenting and was like, everything's going to be all right, we'll be good. And that's kind of reassuring for fans at least.
Braden, what are you most excited for? I'm going to switch gears here back to football if you guys are all right with that.
Yeah.
Always.
The new stadium's on the way, but also they got some big-time players coming back. Devin Neal announces he's coming back. Jalen Daniels coming back. Kobe Bryant's coming back. What are you most excited for with that football season next year?
Yeah, it's wild that all those guys are returning, like not even hitting the portal or going pro. So it'd be awesome to see Jalen Daniels play a full year. It's a guy that's been in Heisman talks. Devin Neal's one of the best running backs in the country. So I really have my hopes up that they can make the Big 12 title game. I know Oklahoma and Texas left. Arizona and Utah will be good, but KU avoids them on the schedule next year. So favorable schedule. Hopefully they can make some noise for the Big 12 title, and if they do that, I know it sounds crazy, but maybe they'll be in talks for the playoff.
Yeah, you got a 12-team playoff. Yeah, don't rule it out.
Yeah, no, it'll be awesome. And the new guys are coming in this semester, so those experienced players, new guys this spring is going to be super fun. Braden, thank you so much for joining us.
Braden.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
And you guys stick around. There is more K-Nation after the break.
Need your fireplace inspected? Make sure you and your family are safe this winter and avoid being a statistic. Certified Fireplace and Chimney now has openings as soon as this week. No need to wait months to be seen. Call or text us today to schedule your appointment.
Hi, this is Voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you will be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. For 24/7 non-judgmental support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Fidelity State Bank was very helpful because we took this building and we renovated it. There were several times when we needed continuous money to keep paying the contractors. I thought you got a full loan, but what they did is they made sure that I wasn't borrowing money that I didn't need until I needed it.
Fidelity Bank, we do business right here at home.
Batter up at Play It Again Sports. We offer an extensive selection of new and used baseball and softball equipment from Wilson, Easton, Rawlings, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, String King, Dudley, Mizuno, Marucci, and Nakona. We have custom uniforms. Try before you buy with our indoor batting cage. Bring in your quality used gear to save even more by trading in and trading up or get cash on the spot. We are buying all day, every day. Play It Again Sports, 21st and Fairlawn in the Fairlawn Plaza Mall.
Everyone dreams of having a stunning fireplace for their home, so why not make your dream a reality? Certified Fireplace and Chimney specializes in making these dreams come true. And now with in-home renderings and no interest payment plans, it's never been an easier decision. Call or text today.
Welcome back. We gave you some men's betting futures last week. We don't want to repeat ourselves, so how about women's futures? These are a couple teams who could make tournament runs.
Yeah, I like it. K-State with the 10th best odds to win it all at plus 3,000. That's $10 to win 300. Then KU women, a long shot, but they know that they can win big games. We know they can win big games. Plus 50,000. That's $10 to win 5,000. That'd be a nice payout.
All right, get in on the sports book, bet on the Wildcats and Jayhawks, or don't. We're not betting experts, far from it.
We're not experts, but we are telling you. It's a little bit of fun.
Sunflower Showdown women's basketball this Saturday. Get to
Don't miss it. That'll be fun. Thank you so much for watching K-Nation tonight.
They called me baby Elijah One back in the day.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure everybody called him Baby Elijah One.
I'm telling you right now, that's a hell of a crowd. It's a hell of a commitment from 7, 8, whatever it ended up being, crowd to be there.